Hey guys, what's up? It's Scher talking. Welcome back to my channel. We have some news. Guys, the news here are a little surprising, to be honest. We have 3 new stuff here on the news section of the game. Actually 4 if you count for the Spiral Corridor monthly reset, but I don't count for that. Starting with Guardian Silver Dragon. A character that they skipped many years ago. Not years, but many months ago. Galahad, the SS style of Galahad. We can finally farm it now. And what's so funny? We have to face the Silver Dragon again. Yeah, that makes no sense, but it's interesting. I think that it will have a different design because this was a very old event. The good thing is that they say that we can get some more status here. It should probably be 1190s instead of 1180s like they always reduce 10 points. But it's good. We have a free character, but he's not useful. Sadly, Galahad is very old to make an impact. Even when he was released, he was very meh. But then we have Guy's a returning banner. This returning banner is interesting because it's the first time that Barthélemy is returning. This guy will be useful forever, I think. Having a character that can do fast AoE attack on turn 1 is not easy. And he also comes back with Polka. This Polka here was buffed for global, and he is still one of the best damage dealers for heat. He can do up to 5 attacks. In Japan he could only do 3. And now he has an RNG of between 3 to 5 attacks. That's the difference comparing him to his JP counterpart. What's so interesting is that the next style of Barthélemy will have access to the same spell. So having both will be very interesting for nuke strategies using animal string formation, where both get 50% increase in intelligence. Barthélemy is the most important one because he allows for many different strategies. Also, some characters really depend on having someone to open, like Fuse. Fuse has a fast attack, but only with 13 BP. Coppelia, musical Coppelia needs also someone to help her. And, well, Barthélemy is the most interesting one, followed by Polka, and then Abyss Ellen. And I must say that Abyss Ellen kind of loses momentum. I don't think she's all that good. It's just that probably a reward for those that summon here and get her. But the thing is, I don't know if this will be the same discount. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's 18,000 gems because this makes it super value. For Barthélemy and Polka, investing 18,000, it's super okay. For Ellen, not so much. If you are only missing Ellen, you should not even try here. But Barthélemy and Polka are the goals. Okay, and this is the normal standard things. And we were expecting these characters to return because they were released in December. We are kind of close to June, and usually they re-release characters after 5-6 months. Sometimes they re-release it after 4 months, but it was expected. But what was not expected was this. So there is an upcoming banner, and it's a very surprising one. It's the SaGa Soul Mag banner. That's how they call it. It's interesting because it mixes some different styles. We have Jorg and Therese and Mac. They come from different games. And, well, this banner may not seem so interesting because it's only 3 SS styles in Japan. Sometimes they have 4. And Jorg, it's not interesting. But before we discuss the styles a little, I must say that I was really not expecting this. They had a reason to release the SaGa Frontier characters. They had. But then these characters don't have too much appeal to them besides Mac. Mac is interesting when they release the Game Boy SaGa games, or when they release the banners for them. Maybe they will have a discount for the Game Boy SaGa games, but this guy here comes from the second one. It's Mac. So, is this banner interesting or not? I think that will really depend on how much people will value the use of them. Mac and Therese are interesting, but is Georg interesting? I don't think even now in Japan this guy has a clear usage, and if many people will choose him instead of some other options. I will give a very quick view on them, not a review, so I will go to Naorama SaGa website. Just one moment. So now that we are here on our SaGa, we can check the styles. The first one is Georg, and the most strange one in my opinion. He has above average STR and endurance, average dexterity and agility, and below average intelligence, love and sha. He could have a use for that, and above average will. He is a tank that heals but has some gimmicks. Georg has the Moonlight spell that can be very powerful. Sadly, he doesn't have Charm and Love to increase the healing when he needs or someone else needs. His healing should be around, I think, 850 for global right now. And it is also buffed because we got a buffed version that increases morale up as well. So a healer that also tries to increase agility. Sonic Sword Plus is an upgraded version of Sonic Sword that buffs agility when you use it, and it's 6 VP. He can use this, and it seems to be something that kind of works for him after he takes some hits, because he receives very low damage on the first 3 hits, and maybe Sonic Sword will help him evade, but he will be needed in formations that also increases agility, because the increasing agility from 70% will not help him so much. It will not allow him to just evade because of Sonic Sword. It's not like the newest version of Red that has 99 agility and increase the agility even further by Hummingbird. He doesn't have such a high agility to make such an impact fast. He will need someone else to also increase agility so that he can make a difference, like the Matriarch or Noel's daughter. Then we have Final Strike. Is a very powerful attack. S power, 39 modifier. It's insane. It's the same, I think, as Fuse, but he can use it on turn 1. But there's a coast. It also uses LP, 3 LP, so he can only use this once. And at least it's slash and hit. He can be used as an opener, and after that he can also use a single target attack on turn 3. Doesn't make much sense since you probably want an AoE, but yeah, it's just like Fuse. Fuse is also the same. He can only use his fast AoE attack on turn 2 and then a normal attack, but his attack is not fast, his agility is not high, so that means that sometimes someone will attack beforehand, most of the time, unless you get him in a fast position that increases agility. I don't know. His passives are very all over the place. Like the first one decreases the damage from the first 3 hits by 50%. Guys, Silver Emperor had it by 100%, so it will negate damage, and even with Silver Emperor it didn't make much sense. If you are using him on the Tiger Shark formation because he's a tank, he will be receiving many attacks, so this can end even on the first turn, and you should be using Sonic Sword to try to increase the agility, to try to avoid attacks after that, and it doesn't really work that way. The second passive is just like Sophia, where he gets this passive active that decreases incoming damage for all the squad by 10%. It's an interesting passive. I know, with Sophia is interesting. Sadly, she's not that good as a character. The passive is, but she, well, faces a lot of competition in the support slot right now. He also gets 30% decreasing damage at all times, so the first 3 hits will receive very low damage, and then after that you will have to rely on having everyone alive and try to evade attacks. But then he cannot use his third skill because it uses LP, and he needs LP to be a healer. Makes no much sense to me. Maybe he was designed for raids, I still don't fully understand him. Now let's talk about Mesha. And Mesha is actually pretty nice because it has an amazing status distribution on 520, insane endurance, like one of the best in the game, high dexterity, above average agility, and above average will also, and the other status don't really matter for him. Love and Sha kind of matter, but not so much. The Mesha is a nuker, a tank, and a multi-elemental attacker. The first attack is a sheep blunt attack with C15 modifier. The second one and the third one are AoE attacks with similar output damage. One increases his tank capabilities, and the other one is a fast attack that can open for many different styles like Coppelia, like Fuse, like Mikhail, and like many other that cost more than 10 VP. The interesting thing is the first AoE, Leopard 2, is both blunt and heat, and gives the guard up by 50% only to himself for 2 turns, meaning that this can be used every 3 turns, since it's 9 BP. He will have a very high endurance by himself and decrease damage even further. It's an amazing. He has the highest potential to be a physical tank without the need of someone buffing him. I will explain when we look on the passives. And then Legend Treasure is Pierce and Slash. Incredible, because he's a gunner. That can be used on turn 1. Look on the multiplier, 26, very close to 8, can be used on turn 1, and it has fast, so it does not depend on agility. Only to compare, we have Barthélemy, a character that's extremely powerful and used up to this day, that has a fast turn 1 AoE attack that's extremely useful. The reason why people want to use Jo is because of her turn 1 fast attack. Barthélemy has only 464 multipliers total, and when you look, his power is only C20. You see, the damage from Battle Hands is pretty high, mostly because of the passives as well, like he has 45% increasing damage on turn 1. But now back to Mecha, we can also use a double S gun that we got in the Media's event, meaning that he will give even more damage when using Legend Treasure. For boss fights, he also has Detox, so, well, max 100 healings, and he cleanses all status elements on the end of the turn. He gets 15% increase in dexterity and endurance at all turns, so he himself can self-buff to very good levels without needing of another buffer. And it increases his damage as well with dexterity. Being used in Tiger Shark formation will make him like one of the best possible tanks for physical damage. The endurance is pretty high, increasing it even further is nice. His dexterity is already pretty high as well, so increasing it much better. Sadly, if you are using him on boss fights, you will have to stick with Leopard 2 so that he gets his guard up. Having this up will mean that the physical damage incoming will be very low. And then for the 5 for 20% more increasing damage. This guy is insane, I really like Mecha. And then we have Therese, and she is amazing as well. I think that she's one of the best bow users in this game. She has very high dexterity, above average agility. For Japan, it's not the best one, but still very, very high. Good will. Usually bow users are better for resistance against magical attacks than physical, and very high charm. There's a reason for this. Let's check here. Therese has 2 AoE attacks and 1 single target nuke. The AoE kind of complement each other. Barrage Shoot is an attack that has very high damage output, very close to 8 power. 26B is very, very high. And then she follows up with Rapid Volley with heat. This is just like Rapid Volley with the added effect of also having heat element. You can also choose to just stick with this attack by not upgrading Barrage Shot or just sticking it to 12, so she can just keep firing up pierce and heat damage. It is interesting because we can use her in Rainbow Rangers on the Dex position alongside other characters that can also produce heat. And she can use this Barrage Shot and 2 Rapid Volleys because she gets 1 more BP on the start of a fight because of a passive, so 9 plus 4 plus 4 is possible here. And Heartseeker is a triple S attack, a nuke attack that also has a chance to inflict charm. It's an insane chance because 80% of charm with a medium chance is amazing. And the damage is pretty strong for an attack that can be used on the start. So Heartseeker can open, and then she will have enough BP to at least fire 1 Rapid Volley. And, well, she gets 20% increase in damage on full HP. Sadly, yeah, she doesn't have any way to heal. She will need someone to heal her. 15% increase with the bow, and 15% increase with battle tension, and 1 more BP on the start of a fight. So, a total of 50% increase in damage and 1 more BP by passives on full HP. That's amazing for farming. Extremely amazing. Now back to the banner image, guys. Therese and Mac are very good characters. I don't know if you have the gems to summon for them, but I'll be making a full review when we get to the download data, because they may change then, or buff or nerf, I don't know. But we need to discuss something here. This banner came out of nowhere. We had a reason for SaGa Frontier banners to exist because we were celebrating SaGa Frontier Remastered. But right now, the feeling is they are trying to push some JP content in global, trying to make us use it to this. And this can mean that they will probably release some of the banners that we had to receive faster, or maybe just release one past banner alongside one current JP banner and keep changing between them. That can be good or bad, depending if they buff the old units instead of just releasing newest from Japan. People will just get spoiled. They will try to get characters that are comparable to the SaGa Frontier banners. If they are not so good, they will not summon. So I don't know what to expect anymore. But we'll see that probably in June, because they have a lot of things to release on the first year anniversary, like most gachas do. They do release many banners. They also give many giveaways, free tickets, and the banners will probably show us a sign. So I suggest some people to wait, unless they really want Mac and Therese and they have the gems. Maybe waiting to see what is left for us is interesting. So what do you think about this all? Please say here in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you still haven't. If you want to support the channel, you have the links on the description. We see each other on the next one. Bye.